What's up, everybody out there? How you doing? I know. You haven't seen my sexy face in a while. I know, but here it is. I know. Oh, well, welcome back over here to the channel. Let's just jump right into it, okay? For the past week or so, and I don't know why. When I am in a mood, I just kind of let the mood just continue to take me where it is that, I think I want to go. And I don't know, I just been on this Angela Winbush phase here lately. Not so much listening to her music, but more just talking about her in general. I've been posting some things about her on my personal Facebook page. As far as the Pepe's Point of View Facebook page, I don't really uh, post a lot of things over there. I post a lot on my personal page. And as I told you guys before, there's always a method to my madness. I know what I'm doing, but you all might not know what I'm doing. But, it is what it is. But thank you for, following me anyway. And so I've been on this Angela Winbush phase, and then I just realized something. I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot. She is going to be on tour. Well, she's always, doing a show somewhere. But I forgot all about that. She is going to be performing once again with the Isley brothers and After Seven. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are in Detroit, and Detroit loves them some Isley brothers and Angela Winbush. I mean, they, as I said before, they are always, Angela at least, I'm so glad that I don't have to really, go far to see her because she's always, somewhere around in my neck of the woods, at least once or twice a year. This year, she showed up in my neck of the woods, like just out the blue. And she had posted, that she was, at this location at a restaurant or somewhere with Jasmine Guy. I'm not quite sure where it was. Or she was, telling people, if you're in the area, so on and so forth, come out. But I was tired and it was a last minute thing. And I was like, man, I could probably get the opportunity to see Jasmine Guy and Angela Winbush. I've always gone to a Angela Winbush concert. And I think she was 12 feet from me. It's two tables. I've talked about this once before in the video. There was two tables in front of me. And let me tell you the story, okay? Because some of you guys probably didn't see the video, okay? And it is what it is. So I have an Angela Winbush story. I'm going to tell it. All right, y'all ready for my Angela Winbush story? All right. True story. I'm not making this up. This is a true story. She probably don't know about it. I've said it before. But hey, get her on the phone and let her know that my Angela Winbush encounter was so, oh my gosh, it was. Let me not even focus on that. Okay, hold on. Let me get it together. Deep breath. I have to focus. Okay, so there I was at an Angela Winbush show, okay? And of course, Angela, she comes out, and I'm at the show this time by myself. I didn't take anyone with me. And can I say the location? I want to say the location. No, the location is not that important. But there I was at the attending the Angela Winbush show. And eventually during the show, Angela comes off the stage, right? She comes off the stage and she is singing, of course, in the crowd. She's in the crowd, okay? Let's just say this is at a club like lounge, okay? And we're at our tables and She comes off the stage. I think his name is Russ. Maybe he's like her tour guy or something like that. Her roadie, I don't know, road manager. And so Russ is behind her as she is in the crowd singing. I don't even know what song she's singing. It had to be one or two songs. It was either You Don't Have to Cry or Your Smile. She's probably singing one of these songs at this moment in time, right? For her to be, in the crowd. True story. So there I am. I am recording this show and I have my phone. I'm recording this show from the very beginning. Since I've attended a lot of Angela Winbush's shows, I pretty much know the set 9 times out of 10. She might surprise me and throw in, a song or two that I'm like, oh, okay, she didn't put that song in, but she pretty much sticks, close to her set. And so this particular show, I'm like, okay, I'm going to record this show. So I'm recording it, got my phone out the whole show, and I'm just really trying to stay steady with it. And then the highlight of the show happens. She comes off the stage. I'm recording her. She's singing. Russ is behind her. And there I am. I'm just like this with the phone. Like I'm trying to hold it steady because, I'm nervous, but I'm more nervous not about her, the show, but just nervous about trying to stay focused, because, hey, sometimes you can shake and you'll be like, what? Who was recording this? So there I am. I'm focusing on her. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, she is coming. She's in the crowd. This is me like, oh my gosh. And now I'm so focused because as she's coming towards me, right, my area, I don't want to be the one who's making all of the noise, recording. I want you guys to hear her sing, right? And so no one, is pretty much saying anything, like we're, enjoying the show. So there I am recording. And the next thing I know, so I'm at my table. I think there's a table next to me. Then she goes, she makes her way over to the table in front of me, but there's a table between the two of us. And so as she's singing, she goes behind the lady. She bends down, okay? She bends down and she's singing. So the lady is in front of me. So it's kind of like Angela and the lady, they're looking at me. And I am looking at Angela and the lady. And so I'm recording. I'm like, I can't believe Angela Winbush is like right there in front of me, and I'm recording. The next thing I know, y'all, is I'm recording. Angela bends down and she is singing. She's behind the lady singing, and she gets like face to face with the lady, right? So it's more like this. So it's like Angela faces here, and this is the lady, and she's singing. I'm holding my phone like, oh my gosh, I done captured like the best moment of this show to me, right? And all of a sudden, it's like we're making eye contact. The three of us, we're making eye contact. The next thing I know, true story. The next thing I know, baby, I'm not lying. Angela, she all of a sudden she goes like this. Hold on, y'all. It's like she's looking at me, I'm looking at her. I'm looking at her, she's looking at me. I have my phone in my hand. And maybe, you can exaggerate the time. Maybe a second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. It felt like forever. And all of a sudden, Angela goes like this. She's looking at me. I got the phone. And then she goes like, oh. then I can't do it. Every time I think about this part, I just laugh. It's like she goes like, like she's like she throws her eyes up. You know what I'm saying? Like she goes like, and so it's a happy moment for me, but it's no longer a happy moment for me because I'm like I felt like listen, I felt like something just cut through me. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, what? Why she do me like that? Like, why is she like she was like, and I can explain it to you if you don't. It, there, she has a video. Okay, she has a video like of her song "C'est toi," it's you. "C'est toi," "C'est toi," it's you. Go to the video. Uh, check out the video. Go to the scene. There's a scene in the video that she did me the same way she did the guy in the video. Woo-hoo, woo-hoo. There's I remember this. This is the only way I can describe it. Give you an idea of what happened. She in the video when she comes out of the restaurant or something in the video and she throws the apple up. I think it was an apple. She throws the apple up and she looks at the guy and she's goes like, and she like, and she goes, that look, okay, that's an Angela Win. That's not, that is not you guys. Like that is not a look. That's something she does. That's what I'm trying to get. Like that's like she did me like that. And so I'm like, what did I do? Like, what did I do? Like, I'm recording. Like, what did I do? She's looking at me. I'm looking at her. Like the lady, she's face to face with this lady. She's singing the song. She's looking at me. I'm looking at her. So when she gives me that look and she walks away, and I'm like, it felt like it's just something just kind of like cut through me because I was like, it went from a happy moment to like a sad moment for me. Like I'm trying to figure out why she do me like that. And then she starts to walk away. Then I was like, you idiot. I'm talking about me. I'm like, you idiot. Like you should feel real stupid because it finally hit me to why she probably did me like that. So when listen, I went from being happy to being sad to now thinking she thinks you stupid. Like she's like it went from like, oh, I understand now. I don't have time for this. Like that's what she's thinking, like you are wasting my time. Like I don't have time for this. And I realized what she did. She set up a photo opportunity for me. And I didn't take the picture. I didn't take the picture. I didn't take the picture. Woo! I didn't take the picture yet, guys. If she went to the back after that, like when I showed she talked about me, then I'm the guy. It's me. It's me. I'm him. He is me. Yeah, she did me like that, but that was like, oh my gosh, like that was years ago, though. That was years ago that I remember that moment. I've never forgotten that moment at all. This moment, I never forget. So she walked away, and I felt like a complete moron. And I was like, oh my gosh, but I'm thinking she's probably thinking about the flash. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's waiting on her cue that I've taken the picture, right? Because I'm holding the phone, and I guess she was like, okay, I'm standing here waiting on the flash. You gonna take the picture or not, man? Like, I'm giving you a perfect photo. Like, I'm face to face with this lady, I'm singing, and I am in your face. I see you recording me. You gonna do this? You need to hurry up. Yeah, that's my Angela Winbush story. So as I said, I've been in the Angela Winbush mood. Just talking about posting some things on my Facebook page, about it because she does not she does not talk a lot about her accomplishments, okay? And I just feel like, since I, grew up listening to her music, and I really did, like I'm not joking. Listen, let me tell you. One day I was taking my mother to run some errands. And there we were, we was in the car, and out of the blue, out of the blue, she said, "Do you still listen to Angela Winbush?" I was bust out laughing. She said, my mother was like, "Do you still listen to Angela Winbush?" I was like, "Yeah." Then I showed her, I took out my phone and I said, "And here," and I showed her my YouTube page, right? I was doing. But of course, I showed her some of the thumbnails and, let her see, some of the thumbnails that I had of the videos on her. And I was like, yeah, and I'm talking about her now. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, yeah, so I'm not joking. I drove my siblings and my mother and my grandmother and my aunts. Yeah, like it's no joke. Sorry. Yeah, I did. Invoke all the divas, all the crooners. Yeah, you better believe I was playing the music. Listen, I was the one, or I am the one. I will play the music, turn the volume up, way up. And guess what I do? I was try to sing louder than the he's a friend of our family said, "You are the only one I know that would turn the radio on and then I'll try to out sing the radio." You know what I'm saying? Sing louder. I would. Oh my gosh, I would. Yes, I would. Yes, I do that. I don't do it anymore though. I will, but I don't do that anymore. So it looks like, as I said before, Angela Winbush and the Isley brothers, as well as After Seven, they are on. They are, you know, it's going to be a show Saturday, April the 12th, 2025. Showtime, 8 p.m. Doors, 7 p.m. Celebration of Music, the Isley Brothers, After Seven, and Angela Winbush. As I said, Detroit loves some Angela Winbush and the Isley Brothers. It's going to be at the Fox Theater. Yes, that's right. Mix 92.3 presents Celebration of Music, starring the Isley Brothers with special guests After Seven with Angela Winbush, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. The Comerica Bank is the exclusive presenting partner of the Fox Theater. Tickets went on sale Friday, January the 17th at 10 p.m. Ladies and gentlemen, you do want to make sure that you are at this show April the 12th. Now, I've never seen the Isley Brothers perform live. I haven't seen the Isley Brothers perform live at all. But as I said, Angela Winbush, I did my first show ever seeing Angela Winbush. She was, it was the week a week or two prior to Gerald Levert's passing. Actually, it was her, Bonnie James, Joe Johnson, and Phil Perry. Oh my gosh, Phil Perry. Oh my gosh, ladies and gentlemen, Phil Perry. I mean, when that man, I was just standing there saying to myself, this man's voice is an instrument. Like he is an instrument. Like Phil Perry sang his behind off. I hadn't heard that kind of singing from a guy since David Peaston. You remember David Peaston? He had a song called Two Wrongs Don't Make a Right. Can I? I love his version of Can I. I think Can I was is one of the Temptations song. David Ruffin maybe or Eddie Kendricks, but I think it's David Ruffin. Ruffin's Can I? You know, he did a version of that. He had another song in the top of my head, I'm thinking, called We're All in This Together. That could have been his second album. David Peaston. Oh my gosh, you guys, if you have not heard David Peaston, please check him out. That man can sing. Phil Perry can sing. As I said, I haven't heard that kind of singing in a while, you know. But anywho, so as I said before, you know, I've just been in the Angela Winbush mood, and not any of her songs, but just talking about her because she does not talk a lot about, you know, her. You know, she just doesn't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like things that she has, you know, going on or have had going on at all. And so I just want to take this opportunity to talk about her since she is about to, you know, go out on the get out on the stage rather with the Isley brothers, you know. And I guess I should not be surprised, but I am pleasantly surprised all the time when I come across the fact that she is performing with the Isley brothers. You know, I've said it before and I say it again. This is just me. Um, when we're done, we're done. Like, I just don't want to be around you like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just me. You know, I've talked about this before, and I'm not going to go in depths with it, but listening to her that day talk about during the concert that I attended, listening to her that day talk about the things that she had gone through, right? Uh, you know, in her personal and professional life, and how, you know, she was like, "Hey, I've forgiven them," you know, and she just said them, you know what I'm saying? And it seemed like it was more than one person, you know what I'm saying? That she talked about forgiveness and things like that, and what she's been through, how God, you know, got her through all of that. And so I remember that day, you know, going through some things with some people as well. And I was just like, well, shoot. I said, well, Lord, if she can do it, I can do it. And so, you know, I think that's the thing that I have now admired about her. You know, it's not just her octaves in her pen, in her piano skills, you know, it's, you know, just, you know, the fact about how she, from, you know, on the outside looking in, you know, just from, you know, what I, you know, have seen, you know, of her in during shows, and of course in on, you know, social media. um I'm like, okay, I can do that. And so on and so forth. But for me, and I'm still like, I'm not around those people. I don't want to be around those people. I just don't want to be around you. I think I'm good with that. And you know, like I just can't do it. But you know, everybody's journey and lesson is different, right? Everybody's journey and lesson is different. Um, but as I said, she doesn't talk about it. So let's just talk about a couple of things when it comes to Angela Winbush. So the first thing that popped out to me that I want to talk about, and I talked about this when I covered uh, the Queens, the Four Legends tour with Shaka Khan, uh, Patti LaBelle, Gladys Knight, and Stephanie Mills. You know, I talked about that. So the first thing I want to talk about is, and I called it the original Queens tour, you know, five legends, because Stephanie Mills did bring up 5 years ago that she definitely was interested in doing the tour, the kind of tour that she's doing now with the artists or the divas that she's currently singing, you know, or co-headlining with. And of course, Patti LaBelle does not like to be called a diva. So the three divas and Patti LaBelle. How about that? But Stephanie Mills said on the Breakfast Club, sorry, 5 years ago, and she was asked who she would go on tour with. And she said Shaka Khan, Anita Baker herself, Gladys Knight. She would love to go on tour with them. She said country artists do it all the time. And she also said, she would include Angela as well. And Angela meaning Angela Winbush. And Charlamagne the God asked her, what about Patti LaBelle? And she was like, yeah, Miss LaBelle, she could do it too. But, she really wanted to be, on the tour with them. And as I was saying, being that I know that she and Stephanie Mills are, good friends and have been for, I'm going to say since probably 1987, 1988. And why do I say those years specifically? Because I recall her, Shaka Khan, Stephanie Mills, Angela Winbush, and Ron Isley. They were, oh my gosh, I never thought about that. See, I love it how when things come together. They were doing a tribute to Gladys Knight. That's bananas. That's cool. Oh my gosh. Talk about a coincidence. I know people say, no, that's not really a coincidence, but I'm just saying how it just kind of came together. Shaka Khan, Stephanie Mills, Angela Winbush, Ron Isley doing a tribute to Gladys Knight. And Gladys Knight, Shaka Khan, and Stephanie Mills are going to be, they're on tour right now together, right? And Stephanie said she would include Angela as well as and Anita Baker in that. I hope that, let's just say I am going to attend the show. I hope my show, they come out, Angela Winbush is there, and I hope she comes out doing Stephanie Mills set. If Stephanie Mills sings The Power of Love, I would love to see Angela Winbush at the show that I'm going to attend. Yeah. Baby, I got my ticket. I got my ticket. I forgot all about it for a minute. I was just sitting around thinking about something, going through. You set goals for yourself. You set you do things, and so I just felt like I was like, gosh, I was like, okay, God, I didn't finish this. I felt like I didn't finish something that I set out to do, and I was like, I got to go through this again. It's like I got to do this again. And so, I was just disappointed because me, I'm always going within. I'm always looking for the lesson. To me, it's like, what am I supposed to learn from this? Like, what, God, what are you telling me? What I'm supposed to learn from this? So, where did I ain't gonna say went wrong, but what could I have done differently? I've always been that person. And so, I thought about it and I was like, well, I'm feeling disappointed. I thought blah, 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 all of that stuff. And so one mind was like, okay, what would I say to, no, take that back. What would I say to a person who is going through this right now? What would I say? And I was like, I would say blah, 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 blah. I was like, oh, okay. And I thought about it. I said, and people, will come to me for advice all the time. And they'll come back and say, look, I took your advice. I did exactly what you said. And guess what? It worked. So I've learned now to say, what would I say to a person going through this? Oh, okay. And so I took my advice. I did. I told myself, I said, okay, what would I say to myself? To a person going through this. And I said, okay, I would say this to this person. I said, okay, cool. I'm going to take this advice. And I took my advice and I started immediately to feel 50% better, just in what it is that I did. And I was like, you know what? Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. and and now I'm at 100 plus. Yeah, I said at 100. I'm at 100 plus. Yeah, with that. So hopefully, like as I said, she'll go out and be at that show. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, it's going to be a great show for these divas. I'm excited for them. I really am. I'm excited for these ladies. I'm excited that they are legends in the industry. Hopefully, we would get the guys to do it. I don't know what guys would we get to do it, and I'm talking about, you know, the only thing I could think of maybe like Ron Isley, Smokey Robinson. I've seen some clips of Smokey Robinson. Maybe we could get Smokey Robinson, Ron Isley. Who else is out there? I don't know why Charlie Wilson is coming to mind, but I don't know. Maybe Charlie Wilson. Yeah, no, but probably Charlie Wilson. Who else could we get to come out? Yeah, Babyface, but I'm not. Maybe Babyface. Maybe Babyface. I have to think of the guys because fortunately, they're we don't have them. They're gone. You know what I mean? I can't think of any guys out at the time. Freddie Jackson, yeah. Keith Sweat, yeah. Smokey Robinson, Ron Isaac. That's a shame. I guess it would have to be someone like what's that guy name? See, losing my thought, y'all. Charlie Wilson. I guess it would be a Charlie Wilson. Yeah, Charlie Wilson. Yeah, maybe they'll do a guys thing. I think they need to. I think they need to do the crooners too. I do. You know. Yeah, I do. Um, but anyway, moving on from that, let's talk about something else related to Angela Winbush. What do we want to talk about? I don't know if it's true or not. I really don't know how true this is, but I was also surprised to find out if this is true or not, that there was a possibility back in the day that Angela Winbush could have worked with Mickey Howard. I was like, huh? I always wondered. I did because you guys, it looked like Angela Winbush was on a roll. Like really, like after she her split departure from the group of the duo Renee and Angela. Yeah, I'm going to say Renee and Angela. I'm going to tell you why I'm saying Renee and Angela in a minute. But Renee and Angela, uh, after the split, because Sheena Easton, Stephanie Mills, of course, the Isley brothers, um, Layla Hathaway, a group by the name of Body. Like she was, working with artists back to back, and she was definitely having some success with those things, or success with those things. And then, of course, to get the production company, then to purchase the studio she purchased, and then signing the deals that she was signing at the time, for production, publishing, record recording contracts, all of that stuff, and working with other artists. She was definitely on the road for about, I'm going to say 3 years for sure. And for me, when I would purchase albums back in the day at that time, or if I was purchasing albums, but by the time Angela came out with the Real Thing album, I think that was the time where I wasn't in record stores like that at the time, but I came across the BMG that you could get, music for a penny. And then once you get the music for a penny, then you would have to, pay. It was a Columbia House, BMG and Columbia House. So that's how I was getting my music at the time. And then once I found out, that it was legit, because I was like, that's not true. I was telling people, I was like, you can't put, I thought it was a scam. I was like, you can't put a penny on this and send it out. And they're going to give you this music. Who's going to do that? No, really. Then I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. And then one day I just said, in one of my neighborhood friends, she had some cassettes. And one of the cassettes was Lisa Fisher's So Intense, album. And she was like, no, yeah, you can do this. Like, I was like, okay. And so I started telling everybody who I could think of, all the kids, I was telling them, listen, you can get this music. You can get you can get the music from Colonial House and BMG, you know. And so, that's what it was. And we'll get the music, and be like, okay, like what did you get? You got this. And then we was like, okay, hold on. Let me record yours and you can record what I got. Yeah, I'm sorry. Bootleg, you know what I'm saying? That's what we were doing back in the day. Be like, give me your record. Oh, you got this on now. Well, I'll record it, eventually. Like sometimes, we would like some of the song. I mean, we had different tastes in music, obviously, and speaking of After Seven, like I probably would have gotten an After Seven album. I own an After Seven album now, but I didn't back in the day. But say, for instance, I'll give you an idea of who my musical taste was at the time. I'd say, for instance, like the Rude Boys. I like the Rude Boys. I like groups like Low Key. I like groups like Mint Condition. But you wouldn't find those groups in my music collection. But I like their music. So I was more like, again, Jennifer Holliday, Mickey Howard, Angela Winbush, the Isley Brothers, Freddie Jackson, Barry White, Keith Sweat, Luther Vandross, Anita Baker. I had all of Anita Baker stuff. Patti LaBelle, Guy. I listen, Guy. I like Faustin McElroy. So do you kind of see where my musical taste was versus, someone else who was listening to, like I probably, I'm telling off on myself. I'm just going to say it. I was about to say Gerald Levert. I had the Gerald Levert album, his first album. Then I didn't care too much for the others. I didn't buy them. Not that it was good or bad. It's just that I really loved the first album. Now I'm telling off on myself. Why I'm talking about this? Oh gosh, I'm not going to say it. But let's just say I really enjoyed Changing Faces album when it came out. That's all I'm going to say. Changing Faces album. That's all I'm going to say. Woo! Okay, Changing Faces. I was a senior, not a senior. I was in high school, but I enjoyed that album. I need to quit. Oh gosh. Oh, yeah. Anywho, we're gonna move right along from that. So yeah, that was like my musical taste at the time. It's just what it was. But I so when I would get these albums, see, I know where I'm going. Follow with me. Just stay with me. So when I would see these albums and I would read the credits, I was always looking to see if, Angela, showed up as, a producer on one of these albums. And, especially, when I would get albums by Patti LaBelle, Gladys Knight, especially the females. That's why I'm so surprised about Mickey Howard. I would always say, like, man, she could have hooked Mickey Howard up. I'm like, man, it would have been great for her to have been on Allison Williams' album. It would have been great for her to be like, why is she working with Regina Bell? Like, I would always say, stuff like that. Oh man, she could have worked with Patti LaBelle, Gladys Knight. And eventually, I just kind of like, oh well, and then when she would show up, I was like, oh, okay, she's over here doing this. And I was like, okay. And I came across, I think this guy's name is George Pettis, an MCA artist. So she came across a guy by the name of George Pettis, I think that's how you pronounce his name. He doesn't spell it like George, the traditional way, but I think his name is George Pettis. And he did Somebody I Used to Know, and it wasn't Smooth Selling. Somebody I Used to Know and I Wish, maybe. He covered those songs. But anyway, and him, and then there was another guy by the name of London Jones. She showed up on. I love it. Song called "Love Means We." Great song by him that she produced. And when I heard that song, "Love Means We," I was like, she can really do this pop thing if she wanted to. That's why I knew that she could do some pop stuff, especially Sheena Easton's "Without You." You know, when she recorded Sheena Easton's "Without You" or produced Sheena Easton's "Without You," I was like, this is really popish. Like this here. Why am I saying this? I'm like, this here lacks soul. When I heard it, sorry, it's just what it is, Angela. You know what I'm saying? I was like, she really watered it down. But guess what? I love Angela's work. I was like, okay, Angela, you can do this pop stuff if you wanted to. I was like, okay, I get you. Oh gosh. So I always wondered why she didn't. And to find out there was a possibility that she could have worked with Mickey Howard. Unfortunately, that did not happen. But hey, it is what it is. And of course, this stuff is alleged on this part. I came across, that this was a possibility. So I was like, okay, why not talk about it? Um, Great, great, great. Also, too, talking about Angela Winbush. Oh, I know. See, I'm glad. I'm saying, let me stay on track. Angela talked about, no, I talked about Renee and Angela, is how I said it. And I said, okay, I'm going to come back to that and talk to you about why I said Renee and Angela. I remember back in the day, because, I'm always watching Video Soul all the time, and Video Vibrations and all that stuff. Midnight Love. And all right. So I remember Donnie Simpson. I don't know if I don't know if it was a word premiere or not. I don't know. But he was I think he was introducing Angela's "It's the Real Thing" video. Like it was, it came back from commercial, so he's introducing the next video. Donnie, you did it. You did it. You did it. Go pull your tapes back, Donnie. You did this now. I remember back in the day, Donnie doing that, introducing Angela's video. And Donnie was like, okay, it's no longer Angela Winbush, it's Angela Winbush. Like he was like, he made sure to say the correct, pronouncing her name correctly, right? But I don't know. Donnie was like, Donnie, you a trip. Donnie was like saying in so many words, he was like, man, I don't know, like why the name change? He was like, I don't know. I guess, when you get some money, you got to change. He said it. I didn't say it, Angela. Donnie said it. And I know you are friends with Donnie Simpson, like like you're friends with him. So you check Johnny. I mean Johnny, you check Donnie, not me. But I'm pretty sure she did. Check him probably because she probably heard about it and saw about it. But yeah, he did. You did that. You did that, Donnie Simpson. Back in the day, I was not too thrilled. So I'm on your side, Angela. I'm not on Donnie Simpson's side with that one, and he's my favorite VJ. You understand what I'm saying? But He's like, I don't know why the name changed. But I remember during an interview, one of Angela's interview. Now she said this, and I almost want to believe that this is true. I do, she said it. Why would it not be true? She said in an interview once before that her name has always been Angela. Always Angela. I was like, oh, okay. She was like, you guys just call me Angela, but I guess she was like, hey, let me make sure you guys going to say Angela Winbush. Angela, not Angela. It's Angela. You better. And so throughout the years, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. Hold on. Throughout the years, the thing that I like most is the fact that she will correct you. And listen, I guess a friend of mine. I don't know. Like I told you, I we ain't talked in years, so I don't know if we friends or not. It's just what it is. I've learned, like, I'm in my happy place in my life. Like, I'm happy, so I'm not thinking about people like that anymore. I promise you, I have gotten people off my mind. I'm like Tina Turner with Ike. I'm like, I've gotten Ike out my system. And I don't want to sing no more of that sad sax songs. I don't want to sing any of those sad songs anymore. You know what I'm saying? In the blues, no, that's not what I'm about. I'm about, rock and roll. I love Bowie and Jagger. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm ready to rock and roll. So I ain't got time for this sad stuff. Like, you know what? Listen, when I'm not going to be around you. Like, I just don't. Like, it's just kind of like, listen here. Yeah, I know I done went off a little bit, but I know where I'm about to land. So my thing is that, where was I? Where was I about to go? Oh, yeah, a friend. When I said a friend, a person I know. One day, I don't know, of course, with me, you're going to eventually talk about music eventually with me. And Angela's name comes up, in this conversation about music. And so she was like, yeah, her name is Angela Winbush. You better not say Angela Winbush. Like, we kind of joked about that and stuff. And so to see her throughout the years, correct people, like, it's Angela Winbush. It's not Angela. You know what? I always wondered too. I wondered, like, I wonder what her nickname is. Like, what do people call her? Like, her nickname. And so I just figured in my head that it would probably be Angie. It's just right. You know what I'm saying? I always thought you would call it, like, her nickname would be Angie. Like, I'm wondering what Angela Winbush's nickname is, right? Listen here, God is good. God is good. So one day, Angela is on tour. She's on tour with Church Girl, the play, right? And the radio, uh, the host, I don't know what radio station this is, but what's the girl name? Oh gosh, it was at a radio station. Oh, whatever, the McKinney. Is her name McKinney? Angela, and was it Sean Blakemore? It was four of them, maybe three or four of them. I know it was the three of them for sure. And I think it was another guy. It wasn't a female, it was another guy. And so the host called her Angie. The host called her Angie. And McKinney went, ooh. Like, I wish I would look for the clip, because the clip is somewhere on YouTube. I'm sure it is. And the host and she was like, ooh, she was like, don't do it, don't do it. Like, don't go. Don't do it. Like, she was like, but she was quiet about this one. Angela was quiet about this one. She was kind of like, no, it's Angela. And And listen, hold on, listen. It's not funny that the how can I put it? What am I laughing about regarding this, event? I'm laughing at McKinney going, "Ooh," that's the part I'm laughing at, like, don't do it. Like she's like, don't do it, And Angela was like, no, no, it's Angela. This is like it's Angela. She don't play with that name now. You go say my name correctly. But let's talk about that. Seriously, let's talk about that. I have allowed people to not say my name correctly. And I wanted to be like, no, no, that's not it. No. I worked with someone who for a couple of years called me by the wrong last name. And I finally just said Jones. You know what I'm saying? I was like, no, it's Jones. I heard him, when he was saying it. And I was like, I ain't think nothing else about it. I just thought it was, him. I ain't think anything about it. So to be quite honest, is it rude? It's reverse. I'm doing this in reverse. Is it rude to allow someone to pronounce your name incorrectly? I think it is. I think it is rude for you not to correct someone if your name is not pronounced that way. It's kind of like, oh no, that's not how you pronounce it. Like I think you need to tell people. But for me, I feel so bad. Like I'm good. Yeah, it's like and so the coworker was like, you let me all these years I've been calling you Johnson. I was like, well, yeah. I ain't think nothing else about it. I just couldn't find it in me to stop and say Jones. So I'm laughing about it. But to be quite honest with you, I'm glad she does. I am like, no, that's not my name. Like what? This is like it's not my name. Don't call me that. Don't do it. It's not my name. It doesn't matter what. It doesn't matter. Like all these YouTube clips or these Twitter, whatever you want to call it. What do we call it? These shorts, whatever you call them, of these classrooms, these teachers, doing these videos about pronounce the way they spell the name and how you're supposed to pronounce it. Yeah, you're looking at it like, now how did you what? Washer and dryer. It's like what? I was like, okay, I can't do it. So yeah, so in actuality, yeah, she's doing it the right way. She really is. She's like, no, that is not my name. Don't call me that. Like what? Like, don't call me that. Wow. I was just thinking about how sometimes people, like, say for instance, like for me, I have made up nicknames for people. Like, so I'm just saying, like, I don't know if someone would actually call a guy whose name is, I don't know, uh, I don't know, Rob. I know we do that, but is that right? Because of with me for a while, I would not tell people who knew me outside of my family or my friends to call me by my nickname. I wouldn't even tell them my nickname. Like, no, I was like, there's like, if it comes up like, what's your nickname? I'm not telling you. I would tell them, I was like, no, I'm not telling you. Like, I don't know. I feel like to me, nicknames are they're personal. You know what I'm saying? Like it's personal. So if I don't share with you, like if how can I put it? If everybody knows me by that nickname, like I'm always called that nickname, then I'm comfortable with you calling me by the nickname. But you don't know me. You don't know me. Like, why would I tell you my nickname? You don't know me. You know, like you don't know me like that. So I can understand when, it's kind of like Angie. Like, no, it's Angela. So I was wondering, like I said, what is your nickname? Okay, this is so not going down the direction I want to go in, but you know what? I'm laughing about it. But I also talked about her in Tawatha AG. I was so surprised to see that Tawatha AG and Stephanie Mills, Tawatha AG and Angela Winbush had so much in common. I'm not going to talk about all of this. Well, let me do it. So, of course, Tawatha and Angela, both of them graduated from Howard University. They majored in music. I think I could be wrong about this one, but I think Angela taught briefly after graduation. I do know that Tawatha AG has talked in interviews that I've come across with her saying that she, was working as a substitute teacher, but then, once she realized that, hey, I could get paid pretty much the same doing session work as I would subbing, and I wouldn't have to sit by a phone and wait for the phone to ring for somebody to call me in. So I'm going to stick with this session singing and this writing with James and Tume. So I know she said she worked as a substitute teacher, but I do believe I recall Angela um, somewhere it was reported that Angela was a substitute teacher, not substitute teacher, but a music teacher at one point in time. I do recall that. Um, both of them, of course, were background singers, background vocalists. Angela for Wonder Love, Stevie Wonder's band, and then Tawatha AG for M2May. Both of the ladies wrote songs for Stephanie Mills and wrote hit songs for Stephanie Mills. Angela, of course, wrote, Stephanie remade uh, um, one of the songs Renee and Angela wrote for a group called Alton, McLean, and Destiny called "I've Learned to Respect the Power of Love." That song is a remake, and then of course Angela hooked her up. She hooked Stephanie up with something in the way you make me feel, and both of those are number one hits. And then Tawatha AG worked with Stephanie, Two Hearts. Two Hearts. She co-wrote with James M. Tume and Reggie Lucas, right? Two Hearts went to number 3 on the R&B charts. Congratulations to you. Both of the ladies had their songs sampled by Notorious B.I.G. Yeah. Angela Winbush, I Love You More, a Renee and Angela song. He sampled to a song called I Love the Dough on the Life After Death album. And that album sold 10 million copies. Tawatha AG wrote a song. He sampled M2May's song Juicy Fruit for his Ready to Die album. Why is all of but anyway. Um, he called it Juicy. That album sold 5 million copies. Hmm. Yeah, congratulations to them. And then Tawatha AG and Angela Winbush, they released their debut albums in 1987, their solo debut albums. Angela Winbush, Sharp in 1987, and Tawatha AG, Welcome to My Dream in 1987. Yeah, so these ladies have a lot in common. I was like, okay. Speaking of songs, Angela Winbush, if I think this is correct, I know they released them in the same year. Angela Winbush and what's that man name? Stevie Wonder. Yeah, if I recall correctly. I remember, and how I remember this, the Jet magazines back in the day. You know the Jet magazines? I got some Jets over there right now. I got some Jets over there right now. I really do. I got some Jets. When my grandmother passed, going through her things, she had some Jet magazines, and so I kept them. I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep them. Yeah, she had them, so I kept them, and yeah, if I recall, I should look that picture up and find it. I'm pretty sure. See, hold on, let me see. I bet you there's a picture. I bet you there's a picture of them in uh Jet magazine. See, I bet you it's there. I bet you. I bet you I find a picture. And if I do, I go like, what? I don't see it though. No, but I bet you I find a picture of them. And the picture I'm thinking about, you guys, is the picture like when they have the singles, right? And or the albums, and then they have the one who's at number one and the one who's at number two. That's the picture I'm talking about that I know. You got to have a picture of. I just feel like it. I just do. I know it's out there somewhere. I just don't know where. Well, I found one. Wait a minute. Did I find it? Oh my gosh. Somebody done posted some Jet magazines. Oh no. But somebody posted of her. They did on a page. It's called EB's Vintage Soul Music Post, and I thought that this is what was about to pop up. But if I'm not mistaken, I think Stevie Wonder. Uh, hold on. I think Stevie Wonder and Angela Winbush. I think that the songs was out at the same time. Like I'm really literally thinking that they're competing for the number one spot. But guess who I found? Oh my gosh, baby, I'm on it. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. I just saw the Isley brothers and Stephanie Mills. No, that's 1989. Got to be because I see Donna Ross, a song by Donna Ross called "Working Overtime" on one of these singles, top singles. I saw the Isley brothers, but I clicked on it. But why is it not showing? Hey, you guys, this is just what I'm doing. We just doing what we do over here. I saw it, but it's not popping up. I see the Isley brothers and I see Stephanie Mills. And I want to say this here. This here is what you call it? This here is oh Lord, I done lost my train of thought, but that's okay. I ain't even going I see it. I don't see hers. Hold on. Let me try something else. 1987. Stevie Wonder. Okay, I can't blow this up at all. Okay, I can see it. That says a little bit. It's that says the Isley brothers, smooth selling, and Stephanie Mills. I feel good all over. I can see that much. I can see that much. I can't see anything else. But I know that's those songs. And I see Smokey Robinson's name. What is that? One there got to be one heartbeat. Ooh, I need glasses. Well, why is that they don't have the other one on there? But anyway, hey, if some of y'all done clicked off it by this time, hey, it's what it is. Thank you for hanging out with me. But anyway, I know they competed for the number one spot. So I was like, okay, okay. Well, anyway, that's pretty much it. I'm going to do this again. I just wanted to talk about, my favorite R&B divas of all divas, Angela Winbush. I'm going to do a second video. And the reason why I'm going to do a second video is because I didn't cover everything that I wanted to cover, and talk about. And it's almost time to go to bed. I have to go into the office tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at the time. It's 11 o'clock. Anywho, if you made it this far, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate it so much. I think it's appropriate for me to just say, hey, hit the like button, the subscribe button, the share button. Leave a comment, You can talk to me. I know. Some of you can't talk to me because, if you talk to me, then the person that's hating on me probably asks you, why you leave a comment? I'm a mess, ain't I? The person who you have haters out there. What you watching him for? Why you watching him? Why you commenting on his page? Blah, 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 blah. It's out there. People do that. It's just what it is. But you know what? I thank you for hanging out with me. You know what to do. Put your behind where your heart desires to be. That's my motto. I go where I'm celebrated, not where I'm tolerated. And then I do one even better than that. Even if you are celebrating me, I am in my happy place. Because you know what? That celebration can get thin, it can get thin, and it can get thin. You understand? Those applause can stop. People can stop celebrating you. But you know what? You can always put your place self-where in your happy place. You understand what I'm saying? So do you make yourself feel good? And whenever I leave my mother's presence, she always says to me, baby, remember, I love you, but God loves you best. I look forward to seeing you guys next video. And if you have not gotten your ticket, if you can get your ticket to see the Isley Brothers, April the 12th in Detroit, check them out. Go check out Angela Winbush. All right, ladies and gentlemen, talk to you guys next video.